Hi everyone, welcome to my studio today. The cat is out of the bag. I'm going to be including natural crystals in my work now. I have been using beautiful, high quality acrylic gems in my work for a very long time, since 2011. But as of this past year, about since November, I've been really intrigued with natural crystals. Their metaphysical properties, how the earth creates them, and just simply how absolutely gorgeous they are. All of that has kept me very captivated, and it's just something I'm very much into right now, and it just feels right to start incorporating that into my artwork. So that's what this video is going to be all about. So this is my newest creation. I'm calling her Crystal Witch. When I began this endeavor, I thought it would just be a fun activity just to see where my mind took me without a whole lot of planning. And this is what came of it. So you can tell crystals have been on my mind. And throughout the process, I thought I would just be adhering acrylic gems to the piece in the end, as I usually would do. But as the piece got more and more completed, it just felt like I had to at least include some real crystals in the piece. It just had that energy, and I just felt like it's the right thing to do in this case. That's what my gut's telling me. I will probably still include a few acrylic gems, just for that little sparkle, but the majority will be real natural crystals. I got 10 different types of natural crystals in extra large sand from a shop called Right Rocks on Etsy, and it actually looks like tiny beautiful little pebbles, although larger than some of my acrylic gems, so I think it's going to make a really beautiful effect on this painting. I got 10 different types because of their gorgeous colors, so we'll correspond with the colors here that you already see in the design. But also because I do believe that each individual crystal, because of its chemical makeup, carries an energy that can help us through certain times in our lives and enrich our lives. Not everyone believes that, and that's okay. You may still find this very interesting because I'll be going through each crystal and showing you how it shows up in other forms, in clusters or geodes or tumbled stones, points, all sorts of different things. And so that will be just absolutely gorgeous. If you happen to think crystals are gorgeous, you will enjoy that. And while we're doing that, I'll also be talking about what people believe their metaphysical properties are, because I do believe that by placing them here on this piece, I'm imbuing this painting with those properties, so that anyone who sees this image, or maybe has a print or the original itself, will be positively affected by those energies. So the first crystal we're going to talk about is Amethyst. The reason it's the first is because it shows up in this piece a lot, and the reason it shows up in this piece a lot is because it's my dear friend Alyssa's one of her favorite crystals, so I felt it was just important to include that a lot in here, since this piece is also about her beautiful energy as a witch. I actually do have quite a few pieces of amethyst. It is a very special stone for sure. This is my first piece right here, a little piece of a cluster. And then on the sides here I have two pieces of Thunder Bay amethyst, which is really special and unique to Canada and to Thunder Bay. It actually contains more than just amethyst. It has a variety of other chemicals in it as well, but it's known for having these red tips, which you can see. There's a little bit on this little cluster here, but there's more on this one, obviously. Some people on the internet think that this is fake, but I assure you it's not. It's just unique to Thunder Bay, Ontario in Canada. So I find that really neat. I have two pieces because I love that idea. So I also have a double terminated point or wand. I bought this one in Tintagel in the UK. This is an Amethyst Spirit Quartz piece. So beautiful. Here's some chevron amethyst, and this is a natural amethyst point. So amethyst properties, they're known to facilitate meditation and clarity of the mind, which I think we could probably all use a little help with. Amethyst is also known to help when you're causing your own problems and you just can't see it. So it's known to help you, I guess, especially while you're meditating, discover what's holding you back. And it also helps connect you to divine energies, whatever divine energy you believe in. It doesn't really matter what religion you follow. It's known to help you kind of reach out to whatever energy or deity you believe in, and feel connected to them. So the next natural crystal I purchased is amber. I absolutely had to get amber. It has been a lifelong favorite of mine. So I have a few pieces here. I have this one that I purchased recently. There's even some little rainbows in it. It's considered a young piece of amber. This one I purchased in Glastonbury, and it's one of my very favorite pieces. Amber with insects in it. This beautiful necklace my husband bought for me when we went to the Greek islands, right in front of the Knossos Palace in Heraclio. I wore it on my wedding night. It has a lot of really fond, amazing memories. And then these two pendants. The small one is my first piece of amber. I bought it when I was a teenager. When I saw this pendant, I immediately fell in love. I thought of Lord of the Rings, which I am still and forever will be extremely obsessed with. So it was really very magical to me, and it's very dear to my heart. And then the larger one here, Darren and I purchased when we went to Poland, so it's a real piece of Baltic amber, and it's quite large and has some beautiful inclusions. Not to mention the setting is absolutely gorgeous and also a little elvish-ish. So yeah, I absolutely love these pieces, and amber is certainly one of my very, very top favorite crystals. So as far as metaphysical properties, amber is very useful, so it helps connect with light energy. And because of that, it's supposed to help people with seasonal depression, which I think many of us suffer from here in Canada. So it's certainly worth a shot. And it's just a very, very positive crystal, and it's known to be a barrier against negativity and negative energy when you wear it. Yeah, so I'm hoping when I put this on my piece, it's going to ward off all negative energies and just make anyone who sees it feel very positive. So the next type of crystal I got is fluorite, and it's another one of my favorites. So fluorite is considered to be a remedy for confusion, and it helps you overcome the fear of the future. Also helps people think through emotional experiences. The next crystal I ordered is Carnelian. It is very beautiful looking, but I also find it to be one of the most soothing for me personally. I love working with it. Carnelian promotes action to achieve your goals. It helps you overcome fear of moving forward or potentially doing the wrong thing. It helps you embrace change in life. All of these things it certainly helped me with over the past few months. I've been dealing with all sorts of things, trying to move forward with my life, knowing now that this is the diseased body that I have to work with. So working on improving things, working on accepting things, and I just feel like Carnelian has been really soothing and helpful in that regard. So I'm hoping to pass that along by adding it into my beautiful painting. I only have one piece of Aquamarine, but it is high amongst my favorites. It is up at the very top of my altar. Once again, it's one of the crystals that I just connect with very well. It's meant to facilitate communication and help release old emotional baggage, which I think we can all use a little help with. And it helps you let go of anger and vengeful thoughts. So because clear quartz is an amplifier of other crystals' energies, of emotions, big emotions, I felt like including that in the centerpieces of this design would kind of amplify all the crystals around it. The next crystal is Citrine, beautiful yellow crystal. Most citrine is heat-treated amethyst. This one right here is a natural piece of citrine. Possibly smoky citrine because it's pretty dark. So citrine is known to stimulate the mind and facilitate learning. It also helps lighten dark thoughts and brings optimism and playfulness. And some believe it attracts wealth. That's no wonder I keep one of these beside me every day while I paint. Every single day, sitting underneath my Himalayan salt lamp, where it can be cleansed every day. So the next crystal is rose quartz. It's an important one. Most people know of it as the love crystal. It does turn your heart towards love and attracts love. But it also calms the mind of worry and anxiety. It's very soothing. It helps move past old emotional trauma, and it can help you get rid of ego-driven patterns. Sometimes when we've been mistreated, we feel victimized and we play the victim, and that doesn't always serve us if we focus on that for too long. So it can help kind of move past that stage of your grieving. And it's also known for having a strong connection to Christ because it is a heart crystal, and Christ is very much a heart deity. It does have it's known to have a special connection to him. So if you're a Christian, or if you very much admire Christ as a prophet, or as a man, or as a spiritual leader and healer, then this crystal might intrigue you. It's definitely important to me, for all of those reasons, to have it included in my piece. I think everyone could use a little more love in their life, a little more calm, a little more, I don't know, aid in moving past certain tough times in your life. So the next crystal is Peridot, and I actually don't have any large versions of this. It tends to be small and expensive, so I haven't yet acquired one. But I thought I'd pour out the large sand that I received. And here's a bigger one that I think is pretty darn beautiful. And I decided to add Peridot to my painting. It was one of the last ones I chose, but it's known to open you up to universal love. Sometimes we give out love freely. We consider ourselves loving people, but then it makes us uncomfortable to accept love in return. So this crystal can help you through that barrier. And just accept all love from all corners of the earth with gratitude and with open arms. And like I said when I talked about rose quartz, I just feel like the more love we have in our lives, the happier we are, the more content we are, and the more fulfilling our lives are. So I think it's important to add a little bit of Peridot to this painting. So the last crystal I'll be adding is Selenite. It's a really special crystal because it's self-cleansing and it can cleanse other crystals. So this one's going to be really important. I plan on putting it in all of the white areas so that it can forever and ever cleanse all of the little crystals around it. So this piece will always have a pure energy. It won't get weighed down by any negative energy because it'll constantly be cleansed by beautiful little pieces of selenite. So selenite is a very useful crystal. It helps you clear blockages so you can connect with your higher self. It helps you move forward in life and not sit stagnant, which I know I'm definitely bad at. I like to stay comfortable, and I am a little bit unnerved by changes in life. But I'm tough and I can totally move forward. And like I said, it also is a self-cleansing crystal and has the ability to cleanse other crystals. So it's quite powerful in that way, and that's really one of the most important reasons why I wanted to include it in the piece. It has a very unique texture, unlike the other little rough crystals. It's still sparkly and gorgeous. So before I start adhering these crystals to my painting, I'm going to be doing a cleansing ceremony on them. Just nothing over the top, just something very simple. In case they've picked up any energies, both positive or negative, it doesn't really matter. Anything they've picked up along the way, to me, I'd like to cleanse them of that so that they're completely ready for their purpose in this painting. So there's a variety of different ways you can cleanse your crystals. One of the first ones I learned was using salt, particularly Himalayan salt. When I'm working in this area, this is one of my studio areas, I always have my Himalayan salt lamp right beside me, and I often paint with crystals beside me if I feel like they've maybe gathered a bit too much energy for me from whatever I'm going through that day. I'll often sit them on top here in a rough spot and let them kind of be cleansed by that Himalayan salt. You can also bury them in salt or bathe them in salt water, but I don't really recommend that because depending on the crystal, it could damage it. Even sitting it on top like that is kind of a risk, and I don't do that with all of my crystals. But that is one of the ways you can cleanse a crystal. You can also put it in sunlight for a few hours or in moonlight overnight. You can also use amethyst or quartz. You can put it directly inside a geode. like that to be cleansed and charged. Could also use a bed like this one and lay it on top like that, have it cleanse overnight. That's certainly possible. A lot of people smudge with different types of smoke. I use incense, so that will be part of what I do later on with these little crystal pieces. But there's a variety of different types of smudging you could do. Fresh water is another one that you can do, although some crystals are soluble, so it is a risk. Certainly not something that's necessary. Singing bowls is another way, or singing yourself to the crystals, or playing an instrument or a drum. I do use the singing bowl. It's not an expensive one, so it's not exactly perfectly smooth. But I don't know, it calls to me. It's my singing bowl. I enjoy it a lot, so I'll be using that later as well. Yeah, and selenite, like I mentioned earlier, is a cleanser as well, so you can lay crystals on top, and I definitely do that. When I get a new crystal, I'll do the smudging with the incense and the singing bowl, and then once it's mine and its purpose has been set to cleanse them, I put them on this selenite slab, at least for a few hours, but usually overnight. And then once they've been cleansed, you can kind of hold them and use, you know, visualization and give it kind of the intent or its purpose. And, you know, the different metaphysical properties that I mentioned earlier, you don't necessarily have to stick strongly to those. If you feel your particular piece of whatever has a different kind of energy or power to it, that's totally up to you. But I'm definitely going to be giving all of these little crystal pieces the intent of the meanings that I described earlier.